Okay, so we're in the middle of this massive AI gold rush, right? It feels like every company on the planet is just scrambling to stuff artificial intelligence into every single product they make. But one of the biggest players out there, Microsoft, is doing something, well, kind of strange. They're actually hitting the undo button. So let's get into why Microsoft is suddenly pumping the brakes on its own AI ambitions.
And this whole situation really boils down to one central question, a question that, a lot of us are starting to ask. Is more AI always better? For the longest time, the tech world's answer seemed to be a definite yes, but it looks like that tide might finally be turning.
All right, let's dive into the main event. We're talking about Microsoft, a company that has spent billions, literally billions on AI. And now they're making a very public, very surprising reversal with their big AI assistant, Copilot.
So here's the official news. Microsoft put out a statement that on March 20th, 2026, they're going to start reducing how much Copilot is integrated into Windows 11. And to be clear, this isn't some rumor from a blog post, this is their official plan.
And look at where they're pulling it from. This is what's so wild. We're not talking about some hidden, nerdy features no one uses. They're taking Copilot out of the Photos app, the Widgets panel, heck, even absolute classics like Notepad and the Snipping Tool. These are tools that millions of us use every single day.
So you gotta ask, why? Why do this? Well, according to Pavan Devaluri, the guy in charge of Windows, the goal is to focus on AI experiences that are, and this is the most important part, genuinely useful. That one little word, genuinely, it says so much, doesn't it? It's like they're admitting that maybe, just maybe, not every AI feature they rolled out was actually all that helpful.
And that quote leads us right to the real heart of the issue, this growing problem that people are starting to call AI bloat. And what's crucial to understand is that this isn't just Microsoft making a decision in a vacuum. No, this is a direct reaction to how users, how we are feeling.
So what even is AI bloat? Well, it's that urge to just sprinkle a little AI on everything, like it's some kind of magic dust, whether it makes the product better or not. And the result? Often, it just makes things slower, more complicated, and, let's be honest, kind of annoying. It's when the tech starts to get in your way instead of actually helping you out.
And this isn't just a feeling, we've got the data to back it up. Check this out, from Pew Research. Back in 2021, about 37% of adults in the US were more concerned than they were excited about AI. Now, fast forward to 2025, and that number has jumped to half, 50%. That is a huge shift in how people feel, and you can bet that a company like Microsoft is paying very close attention to that.
Now, that announcement about pulling Copilot from apps made a lot of headlines, but if you've been watching closely, you'll know this isn't some random, isolated event. It's actually part of a bigger pattern. Microsoft has been quietly, let's call them course corrections, for a little while now.
Let's connect the dots, shall we? First, back in April 2025, remember that super ambitious Windows recall feature? It finally came out, but only after a whole year-long delay because of a huge backlash over privacy. Then, just a bit ago in early March 2026, those plans to bake Copilot deep into Windows, into settings and the File Explorer, they were just quietly put on the shelf. And that brings us right up to the big announcement on March 20th. You see the trend here? This isn't just one decision, it's a pattern.
So, what if this whole story isn't really just about AI? What if it's about something bigger? Because all the evidence points to this AI rollback being just one piece of a much larger strategy. To get back to basics and just listen to what people who use Windows actually want.
I mean, Microsoft said it themselves. They said their teams have spent the last few months doing one thing above all else, listening. Not pushing new features, not innovating just for the sake of it, but actually listening to community feedback on what would make their experience better.
And here's the proof in the pudding. At the same time they're rolling back AI, look at what they're adding. The ability to move the taskbar to the top or sides of the screen. People have been begging for that for years. More control over updates, a faster File Explorer. These are the practical, non-flashy improvements that users have been asking for all along.
So what does this all mean for the future of Windows? Well, what we might be seeing here is a pretty fundamental shift in the whole philosophy of innovation in tech. A move away from just chasing the next big, shiny thing, and a move towards actually refining and perfecting what's already there.
Which leaves us with one final massive question. In this crazy, relentless race to build the future of AI, are we finally getting to a point where being genuinely useful is more important than just being new? Microsoft's big step back here might just end up being a giant leap forward